Hello, friends, welcome back to Story with Hani and Nivi. Today's story is The Man Who Sold Words. This is just a random story which I was just reading for myself. I thought I would read for you also. Let's get into the story. Lo Shi was a simple Chinese trader. He was neither too sharp witted nor a dullard. He loved his wife intensely and was devoted to her. He made riches whatever little he had, little by little. His was no outstanding success story, but he was prudent and wise. One day, he set out for a far-away market by the Great Wall of China in the company of other merchants. He managed to sell his wares pretty fast. With the proceeds of sale, he bought some merchandise. He still had 20 coins left. His mind racked back to his beloved wife. He thought he would buy her some present. He went around the market seeing what he could buy for her. Meanwhile, he heard something strange. An old bearded man crying out, "Words for sale! Words for sale!" He had not, nor had anyone else, heard about words being sold. His curiosity was aroused. He got near the old man and asked him whether, indeed, he was selling words. If so, what words? The old man confirmed he indeed was selling words, words of wisdom, and they would only cost 20 coins and nothing more. His inquisitiveness having been aroused, Lo Shi couldn't help buying the words for the price of 20 coins. Lo Shi asked before paying the money what manner of words the old man was selling. But the old man wouldn't divulge anything before the price of 20 coins was paid to him. Lo Shi, determined to see what were the words he had to pay for, paid the old man the 20 coins he had. The old man told him the words. They were, "Beware of an inn in a valley, take no shelter from the rain. Hearken well to a wayfarer tale, wash not your head that is damp with oil. Learn these words and tell them to the chow wind. Edu good sigh, sanction me. One dew of grain, 3 cents of rice." Having bought the words, he kept reflecting over them, trying to comprehend them, and thinking if he was any wiser or any better for having bought the words. Frankly, he did not feel any better or any wiser for having bought the words. It was from clear to him how the words he had dearly paid for would prove useful to him. He joined a party of merchants and set out his return trip next morning. By evening, the party found itself at an inn in a valley at the foot of a mountain. But Lu Shi remembered the first advice of the beard sage: beware of an inn in a valley. Hence he excused himself when the party of merchants stayed at the inn. He went up the hill and spent the night on the top of the hill. Around midnight, Lu Shi was woken up by a rumbling sound. He looked down the hill and noticed a deluge of water rushing menacingly towards the inn. He shuddered to think of whatever would have been his fate had he kept company with the fellow merchants. In the morning, when he appeared again, he found absolutely no trace of the inn and was flabbergasted to see the bodies of the merchants floating. Their wares were floating too. He thanked his maker and left the place far behind. The words of the wisdom of a bearded sage had indeed saved him. He had not paid for the words in vain. On the way, he made friends with a fellow traveler. All of a sudden, there were thunder and lightning. There was torrential rain. The feral traveler rushed and stayed under a massive overhanging rock for shelter from rain. Lo Shi remembered the second advice of the bearded sage: take no shelter from the rain. He did not rush anywhere for shelter. Hardly had taken a few steps in the pouring rains when he turned back on hearing a crashing sound. The sound he heard was that of a massive, overhanging rock which had crashed and killed the fellow traveler who had taken shelter under it. Loshi thanked the bear sage who had already helped avoid two terrible dangers. He kept up his journey. In the town, he went to see his cousin living there. The cousin pretended to be very happy to receive him. The cousin was plying the trade of a potter. The potter, in a low voice, which his cousin Loshi would not able to hear, said to his wife, "It is believed that when pottery business is dull, human sacrifice helps to boost it. Let's send Loshi to the pottery. I will write to my workman to push him into the oven. Then let's hope the business will look up." Loshi was asked by his cousin's wife to carry food to a workman at the pottery. The unsuspecting Loshi carried the yoke with food packets hanging from it to be delivered to the workmen at the pottery. Just then, a wayfarer was recounting an absorbing tale. Loshi remembered the third advice of the bearded sage. Hearken well to the wayfarer's tale. Loshi, aside from the wise sage advice, had a weakness for tales. So, he mingled with the crowd and sat down to hear the tale with deep interest. A deeply engrossed Loshi was met by his cousin's eldest son. He said to his uncle, "Uncle, just give me the food for the workers to me. I will take the food to the workers." These words of his nephew were music to Loshi's ears. He immediately gave the food packets to nephew and sent him away to the pottery while he plunged into the story narrated. There the workers at the pottery seized their master's son and ruthlessly shoved him into the oven. He shrieked in pain but was soon reduced to ashes. After hearing the wayfarer's story, Loshi met his cousin. The cousin and his wife were surprised to see Loshi alive. Loshi then told them that while he was listening to Wayfarer's tale, the cousin's son took the food to the workers. Loshi asked if the cousin's son hadn't returned. Now it was obvious to the cousin that his son who carried the food to the workers should have been shoved into the fire. Loshi, who did not know the machinations of his cousin, thanked his cousin for his hospitality and proceeded on his onward journey. After a long and strenuous journey, Loshi reached home. Whether Loshi was aware of it or not, the bearded sage's words had protected him from yet another peril. As her husband had not returned, Loshi's wife had taken a lodger, a robber. She and the robber were eating when Loshi came home and called out. Loshi's wife shoved the robber into a room and asked her husband to sit at the table. Loshi asked his wife, "When you were alone, why did you set 2 rice bowls and 2 pairs of chopsticks?" Loshi's wife, in mock anger, said, "Even when you are not home, I always set a rice bowl for you two to remind me about you. Whether you are home or not, I don't let your memory ever leave me." Loshi had tea his wife offered, and thereafter ate from the bowl from which the robber had eaten. He then fell fast asleep. Loshi's wife started sewing in oil lamp's light. She was nervous. In her nervousness, she knocked the lamp while getting up. The oil from the lamp spilled over to Loshi's head. He was awakened by the hot oil. His wife said she would wash the oil off, but the sage had advised against washing of oil. He slept with the oil. When he was in deep sleep, the robber appeared there with a dagger ready to kill Loshi and share his properties with Loshi's wife. It was dark. He could not see who was in the pitch darkness. He decided the air with oil should be women's, as men did not apply oil. When the robber felt oil on one head, he thought it was the lady's. That night it was Loshi's head that was oily. The robber slit the throat of the other person. He indeed slit the throat of Loshi's wife, thinking that it was Loshi's throat he was slitting. In the morning, Loshi found his wife's throat slit. He called the neighbors and wailed over the gruesome murder of his wife. The neighbors dragged poor Loshi to the district governor, Chovin. Chovin, the governor, said to Loshi, "You rogue, why did you kill your wife?" Loshi had come to know that the governor's name was Chovin. He was reminded of the sage's words. Now he knew he had to tell all to the governor. He spoke at length as to how the words he bought had saved him from several threats to his life. The governor asked if his words he bought had come true. Loshi said, "All but the last." The governor was lost in thought. It was obvious to him that the man who had sold worlds of wisdom should have been a venerable sage. The governor asked his guards if there were two men by names Dugo and Misan. On the confirming that they were robbers, the governor ordered their arrest and protection to him. The two criminals admitted that one of them had intended to kill Loshi but had, by oversight, killed his wife. Once it was established by their confession of their guilt, the governor had poor Loshi released. The governor said, "Loshi, you are innocent. Your wife did not deserve your love and devotion. You marry a girl who will be devoted to you." Sure enough, before a month lapsed, he found himself a poor but truthful and devoted girl. The couple had perfect understanding and absolute harmony. They lived happily forever. So friends, I hope you all enjoyed this story. Like, share and subscribe this channel and click the bell icon for more such stories.